Hello and welcome to Lee with Love's channel. So in this channel, I wanted to talk about spiritual awakening today. So and then I do have an article on it. It's mindbodygreen.com. I'm gonna include that article in the website, in the description box, so you can check it out. So this article is 21 signs you're going through a spiritual awakening, because we can all go through spiritual awakenings. You can be going through it and you don't even know it. So and then with this one, I'm gonna just talk about the signs of going through a spiritual awakening. I'll probably include the timestamps in the comments so that you can check it out. But with this video, it's a lot of talking because I am online. So I'm gonna just be talking. So I'm not doing anything. So it's like you can just set your phone down, listen to it, and you can be like, oh, maybe you can relate to some of the points. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I'm gonna get started. So 21 signs you're going through a spiritual awakening and how to embrace it. It's by Sarah Regan, and it was written February 5th, 2021. You've probably heard talk of spiritual awakening and how they can lead to more enlightened, dare we say, woke people. But does a spiritual awakening really mean what, and what does it actually entail? To answer these questions and more, we asked the experts. So don't worry, we got the scoop on how to begin yours too. So how to begin your awakening. What is a spiritual awakening? The notion of a spiritual awakening has been around for centuries and can be observed in a variety of cultures and religions around the world. They call it nirvana, call it enlightenment, call it bliss. A spiritual, oh my God, this city. I am so sorry about the noise. I had to pause it real quick, but I'm gonna just go back into it. What is a spiritual awakening? The notion of the spiritual awakening has been around for centuries and can be observed in a variety of cultures and religions around the world. They call it nirvana, call it enlightenment, call it bliss. A spiritual awakening begins when the moment a person can step back and awake to their life with a new sense of being in the world. Spiritual awakenings can be mildly unnerving at first, as they can often cause us to grapple with questions like, who am I and why am I here? But there can also be a certain element of wonder and excitement when we find ourselves suddenly feeling very much alive. The idea of spiritual awakening has popularized in the Western world by famed psychiatrist Carl Jung. So Carl Jung, he's a psychiatrist, and he's famous because I guess he brought about, like, he introduced the enlightenment and awakening. So he's gonna be referenced a lot. Who described the process of coming back to the original self. But the experience of rising to a higher state of consciousness has always been an intrinsic part of what it means to be human, like what it means to feel alive and well. That's when you're going through the awakening. So what causes a spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening can be triggered by anything from the completely mundane to the completely life-altering. According to spiritual author Shannon Kaiser, she's an author, a few common causes include life-changing events like losing your job, moving away from home, a car accident, etc. And people who open a spiritual door, who open the door for you. So it can be someone that you meet. It can be a twin flame or a soulmate. Like, you just go through all these spiritual things, and it's because you met a spiritual partner. And then they force you to wake up. It's like so many things happen in the relationship. You wake up. Spiritual awakenings can be spontaneous, she says, but for most, they are triggered by major life changes or traumas, such as life threatening illnesses, car accidents, divorces, war, pandemics. A lot of people went through their awakening during this time because we were locked in the house for like 2 years and you didn't have a choice but to focus on yourself. Quarter life or midlife crisis, mental health crisis such as clinical depression or anxiety, or even near death experience. As a professional intuitive and author of Angel Intuition, Tanya Carroll Richardson explains, ultimately, anything that encourages or forces you to look at your life from a more spiritual perspective can set you on a path towards awakening. So it's, this doesn't have to do with religion or anything. This is spiritual, and we are all spiritual. We're just forced into religion, but everyone is a little bit spiritual. You just have to tap in. You have to tap into it. A lot of us don't tap into it because we're thinking about religion that it's evil, that is wrong, and it's not wrong. It's a part of life. It's a part of growing up. It's a part of waking up. And you can't be stuck in religion forever. It's like you can be open-minded to things and to the changes, because you are going to change. You are going to grow. You are going to age, and you are going to change. That's just it. That's just that. So here are the 26 signs. 26 signs and symptoms of a spiritual awakening. So here are some signs that you're going through a spiritual awakening or about to embark in one. Number 1, feeling disconnected or detached. At first, the spiritual awakening process can feel overwhelming and confusing. It can feel like everything you thought to be true about your life was a lie. And as such, Kaiser explains, you may feel disconnected and detached from things and people you used to enjoy. So that's the first step. You start feeling disconnected from everything you used to love. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And it's because you're awakening. Number 2, you've reevaluated your beliefs. So Richardson notes a spiritual awakening can likely cause you to revise your spiritual beliefs or adopt significantly new ones, whether that means connecting deeply with the religion or belief or quitting your job to pursue your real passion. Your priorities are likely different now. So the way you used to think life is or life is supposed to be, it's different now. Like everything's changed now. You want to do something different with your life. Wow. So here's one. Your dreams are more vivid. This is number 3. Not only is your waking life more vivid as a result of a spiritual awakening, but your dream life may become more vivid too. Kaiser says the meanings of your dreams and how they connect to your journey may be more apparent as well. I'm like, okay. Number 4, you experience more synchronicities and deja vu. If you're frequently experiencing mind-blowing synchronicities, like thinking about someone and randomly running into them the next day, or seeing angel numbers all the time, that's a sign you're on a spiritual path, Kaiser says. Similarly, feelings of deja vu aren't uncommon either. So I guess that's when you start to notice things are changing, is when you start noticing angel numbers. Angel numbers have always been around. The numbers are always around. They're all around us, but we never pay attention. And when you start paying attention to it, that's when you know things are about to change. And when your dreams are more vivid, it's like now you're remembering your dreams. That's why I burn ancestor money, because it helps with that too. With your dreams becoming more vivid. And I Google my dreams, like when I don't know what it means, or I try to put it into my life what I'm dreaming, like because I know it's trying to tell me something. and I put it into my life. But number 5, your relationships begin to shift. There can be no doubt spiritual awakenings are transformative, and people in your life won't always be able to appreciate that. You may feel like your loved ones don't understand you anymore because you are changing. Kaiser notes, Richardson suggests asking loved ones to respect what you're going through, reminding them that they don't have to resonate with your awakening. So it's like you awaken, everyone else around you is not going to awaken just because you're waking up. This is yourself, your soul, is all you. So you're going to change, you're going to see things, you're going to notice things differently. And people just have to understand it. So your relationships with people, they are going to change. I just cleaned the camera there to see if I look a little more clear. But that was number 5. So number 6, you feel spirituality becoming an important part of your life. So now you care. Now you care about spirituality and your dreams and deja vu and the numbers. Now you're paying attention. As Richardson notes, it will be hard to ignore the call from your spiritual side. As you go through this process, the desire to find the meaning and fulfillment with your spirituality will likely become one of your biggest priorities. So now you're going to want to understand yourself, understand life, understand everything. And that's your spiritual side. Like, you can be religious, but then you're still going to want more. You're going to want more. So number 7, you're going to be more intuitive. Another sign, according to Richardson, is having newly heightened intuition or new intuitive abilities showing up. Your intuition has always been there. It's always there, buried beneath your ego, buried beneath the layers of your ego. And now that you're awakened, you feel more in tune with yourself. Like, now you're knowing yourself. You're getting to know yourself, and your abilities are showing up more now. This city, oh my God. I think in the morning time is more noisy because I guess everyone is working. It's Wednesday, so it's just more noise, more active. But then at night it's more active too. So I don't know. I am in New York City, so just please excuse the noise. I am sorry, I cannot control it. Back to the article. Number 8, you can sense inauthenticity and manipulation. In addition to the heightened intuition, Kaiser says you'll be able to sense inauthenticity and inauthentic or manipulative behavior when someone is deceiving you as well. Things are out of integrity are hard to be around, she adds. So it's like, when somebody's trying to play with you. When somebody is full of shit. You know when they're full of shit, and then you're gonna sit there. It's like you can tell. It's like nobody can really play with you. Once you wake up, nobody can play with you. They can't sit there and do these little things that they used to do. Like, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Number 9, you realize everyone is on their own path. As you figure out your own spiritual path, Richardson notes, you also become more accepting of the idea that everyone else is on their own unique path too. Things like winning arguments or convincing people of your views don't matter as much anymore. So a lot of things that you used to do, arguing, fighting, going back and forth with people, you just don't care anymore. You realize everyone is going through their own path. Like, you're waking up, everything is changing. And you're changing. You yourself are changing. And then everyone else, you see they're going through their own things, or they're not woke. They don't know what's going on. And it's like, you can tell. You sense it. Number 10, you want to be of service. As you begin realizing that every living thing is inherently worthy and equal, Richardson says you will feel called to be of service, whether to people, to animals, or to the environment. It's important to you that you have a cause you can get behind to make your life feel purposeful. It may not be about changing your current roles or jobs, Richardson says, well, adds, but just approaching what you've already doing with a deeper sense of service. So it's like whatever you're doing, you just want to be better at it. You want to do good. You want to be well. You want to be, it's not, you want to be the best, but it's like you just want to be of service. You just want to do good. Number 11, your teachers find you. According to Kaiser, during an awakening, your spiritual teachers may appear everywhere with perfect timing to help you. These don't have to be literal teachers. They might be a kind stranger in a store, a new friend you met by chance, or a literal spiritual or religious figure. Your teachers will find you. So that's okay. I haven't met my teacher. Like I sit here and I learn. I don't know. Maybe okay. Everything is not a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. So the people that you may bump into, maybe they're there to teach you something, even if it's small. It means they're there for something. They're there to teach you something. Number 12, you feel alone. Oh my God. Spiritual awakenings are no easy undertaking. And while there's hope for enlightenment on the other side, it can feel very lonely, as Kaiser explains. It's isolating to have your whole life flipped upside down, especially if the other people in your life aren't quite on the same wave. So it can be lonely, but you have to know how to love yourself, care for yourself. And I actually like my alone time, so it really didn't bother me. But I don't know, spiritual way, they can be hard. Like if you don't like to be alone, then it's gonna be a little difficult for you. So you have to know to love yourself, care about yourself, do things for yourself to make it not feel so bad. You know, because you will feel alone, like nobody understands what you're going through, but it's not a bad thing. It's something that you have to go through for you to grow, heal, and evolve, for you to enlighten, for you to wake up. This is a spiritual awakening. This is when you're waking up. You feel more connected to the natural world. You may feel less connected to your friends at family, at first. You feel more connected to nature, from plants to animals to the world as a whole. You will sense your interconnectedness to it all. It may be quite moving. So that's like going to the park, sitting on the grass, hugging a tree. Like you want to be at peace, and you enjoy your peace. You enjoy being around nature. That's true. So number 14, your senses are heightened. According to both Richardson and Kaiser, senses will often become heightened during spiritual awakenings. As you become more tuned into the present moment, this includes sensitivity to physical, emotional, and or energetic stimuli. Your senses are heightened. So my nose is just itching like crazy. Your senses are heightened, physical, emotional, or energetic. I guess you feel the energy around you. You can sense it. You're more sensitive to energy now. Okay, number 15. You may have more bodily sensations, along with heightened awareness and senses. Kaiser adds, you may have other bodily sensations too. Deep disturbances are not uncommon. Bodily sensations, I guess your body can be feeling weird or something. I don't know. Body sensations, like getting really, really hot, really, I don't know. Your body can feel weird for moments in time. You may have physical symptoms. A number of physical symptoms can accompany spiritual awakenings too, Kaiser says, like fatigue and brain fog. Though, of course, these symptoms could also be a sign of a medical condition, so don't necessarily write them off as nothing. So you just have to pay attention to your body, the way it's changing. Anything that's going on, you pay attention. There's a sudden change in your habits and routine. As your spiritual life begins to transform, so will your day to day life, including habits and routines. Kaiser notes, perhaps now you make it a priority to spend time in nature or meditate, or you've ditched old habits that are no longer serving you. So now is the time you pay attention to yourself, to your body, to your thinking. Anything that's changing, pay attention to it. Sudden change in your habits and routine, physical symptoms, body sensation. All this stuff is stuff that you have to pay attention to. This is within yourself. This is within your body. And you have to pay attention to anything that changes. Spiritual awakening, spiritual. You can't see it, but you know what it is. And not everyone is going through an awakening. So it's like you either know or you don't. Sudden change. Okay, so number 18, your outlook on the world feels different. Again, spiritual awakenings are not easy, and the alienation and ego shattering realizations that occur can make anyone feel like they're living in a new reality. Increased empathy. Empathy, like you feel for people, you have more feelings. According to Richardson, as you begin feeling more connected to the world around you, you also have increased empathy regarding the suffering of others. The prevalence of suffering may feel impossible to ignore, hence why you now feel more called to be of service. So you have more empathy. Maybe before you didn't care. Now you care about people. Now you want to help. Now you want to be of service. You display more compassion. On top of feeling more empathetic, Richardson says those going through spiritual awakenings likely feel more compassionate towards others while wanting to hold them accountable. So someone could still do you wrong. You could feel compassion towards them, but you still want to hold them accountable for what they did. Like, I could feel sorry for you or whatever, but you still did what you did. Like, hello, but you display compassion at the same time. Number 21, you have a newfound curiosity. And lastly, you are now that you have awakened to your life, you probably have a childlike wonder and curiosity for the world around you. Even when things get tough, being able to stay curious about your life and the people in it. Even when you're feeling emotional, Richardson notes, is a sign of a spiritual awakening. So it's like your feelings are heightened. Everything is going to change. And this is the time you have to pay attention. You got to pay attention to everything. The process and stages of awakening. You could say the actual spiritual awakening is just the first step on the long path to enlightenment. Indeed, the initial awakening may just happen in just a moment, but the process has many stages, which are as follows. So these are the stages. So these, I'm gonna put these in the I'm gonna put these in the comments. The stages, because there's several stages. So, and then the first stage is the spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening, as Kaiser explains, this is the beginning of your spiritual journey. As you start to question everything you once knew, you begin to clear certain things out of your life. Like whatever's not serving you, get rid of it. It could be habits, relationships, old belief systems, and you invite new, more enriching things in. You may feel like something is missing, but you haven't quite figured it out yet. During this phase, it's common to feel lost, confused, and down. So that's the beginning of the spiritual awakening. Then the second part is the dark night of the soul. That's the second stage. The second stage of spiritual awakening is kind of what sounds like a very rough patch. This is the hardest one, the lowest patch. In fact, in many ways, this is when your soul is recalibrating, stripping away all aspects of the ego. It's very challenging, but once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up, forcing you to make a real change. So it's like the dark night of the soul is the hardest part. This is the part when you lose everything. You lose everything and you have to start over. And it's hard. Like, you don't want to lose everything. But that's the only way you can start from zero and go up. Like, there's nowhere to go but up from here. So you have to lose everything in order for you to gain. Everything is going to come back. So, and then the third stage is the sponge stage. Once you've made it through the dark night of the soul, you're ready to begin creating your new and improved awake life. In the third phase, it's about trying things on for size and exploring. Kaiser says you'll begin branching out, trying different hobbies, religions, relationships, etc., as you figure out what meshes with your spirit. So this is the sponge stage. This is when you're absorbing things and you're trying things out. You're trying new things out to see, just to see how it goes. So this one is, wow, Satori, the Satoru Self. As Kaiser explains, Satori is a Japanese Buddhist term for awakening or comprehension, derived from the Japanese verb Satoro in the Zen Buddhist tradition. It refers to kensho, or seeing into one's true nature. In this phase, you begin not only to recognize but honor and embody your true nature through your gifts, skills, and talents. The Satoru Self. This one is, wow. So it's seeing your true nature, like seeing how you are. It's the phase when you begin not only to recognize, but you honor and embody your true nature through your gifts and talents. So this is when you come to the self-realization of who you really are. So you done went through the dark night of the soul. Now you're awakened and you are absorbing things, and now you see yourself for who you are. The Satoru Self. Like, okay. So number 5, soul sessions. Soul sessions. You think you've reached enlightenment yet? Not quite. The 5th stage, which Kaiser refers to as the soul sessions, can take some time. You're building the actual structure in your life through which your spirit can thrive. This can take some trial and error and lots of different strategies. During this time, which can take years or even decades, oh my God. By the way, your soul is growing and healing as you discover the routines and rituals that work for you. So you're always going to be going through the awakening. You're always going to be evolving, healing. Wow. So you think this is it. Like, you think you're awakened and now you know, like, what's up. Like, no, you don't know what's up. You're always going to be going through an awakening. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be going through things. And that's called the soul sessions. You're always going to be learning. It says it can take years, even decades. Your soul is growing and healing as you discover the routines and rituals that work for you. So what is best for you? It can take some time. Wow. So number 6, the surrender. The surrender. This is the second to last step. So there's still another step after this one. The surrender. The second to last step in the awakening process. Surrendering is all about releasing any remaining structures, beliefs, or facets of the ego that are keeping you from your truth. By this point, you've gotten to know your soul. You've figured out a lifestyle that works for you. But there still may be people or habits that hold you back. This is where you will release them so you can fully step into your power. So this is surrendering. You have to surrender. The second to last step. So then there's still another step. So you have to You have to release all the things that do not serve you, all the things that are not helping you grow, heal, evolve, and become a better human being. So, and then this is the surrender. This is when you have to let it go. All of those bad habits, the thinking, the beliefs, the structures. This is when you have to let it go. You just surrender, like, fuck it. Like, just get out of here. Release what doesn't serve you. Oh my God. So, number 7, this is the awareness and service. And finally, we have awareness and service. Kaiser says, this is full awareness of your own divinity in every moment. As you flow through life with grace and clarity, you live in service to others, which brings you great happiness and contentment. Like, okay, so that's the final stage, is awareness and service. Like, you just know, like, you know everything. Full awareness of your own divinity in every moment as you flow with life with grace and clarity. So this is the final stage. Like, this is the best part. Like, when you flow through everything, you're flowing through life with grace, with clarity, like, you know what the hell is up. And you live in service to others, like, you help others, which brings you great happiness and contentment. Like, you're okay with it. Okay, so this is the last part. So let's see, how to make space for a spiritual awakening. While it may not be easy, many would attest that spiritual awakenings are well worth the effort. So if you want to make space in your life to start your spiritual journey, Richardson recommends developing daily, weekly, or monthly spiritual practices like meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude. Those are examples. In addition to that, people find you resonate with spirituality that you can talk to. So you have to find people that are like-minded, that you can talk to about spirituality, because not everyone is awake, not everyone is awoke. Like, they're still in this 3D world and they don't know what's going on. Like, they don't know what's up. So it's like, it's not hard to find a person, but when you find someone that is on your same level, it's like, oh, it's the best feeling. Find people you can resonate with spiritually, that you can talk to. She suggests you can look for books or podcasts about spirituality that resonate with you as well. Practice self-love and compassion. So you always have to love yourself. Self-care is important. Be gentle with yourself and trust the unfolding. All spiritual awakenings occur to guide us back into balance with our true self. She adds to also pay attention to your inner guide and intuitive nudges. So it's like, listen to your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. They're helping you harmonize and remove what no longer is authentic in your life. So it's like, this is a time you have to pay attention to your intuition, because your intuition, that's God warning you, giving you a warning, and you have to pay attention to your intuition, because it's a warning. You have to listen to it. A lot of people don't listen to their intuition. That's why things go wrong and they end up going through hell. I know. Sorry, this is the last part. Okay, 3353. The bottom line. Spiritual awakenings are complicated, profound, and nothing short of life-changing. In the best way, while they may not be easy, they will improve your life for the better with patience, trial, and error. And a bit of time. If you find yourself in one, all you do is trust the process. Hang on tight and prepare for newly awakened life. Like, your entire life is gonna change. Like, once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. Like, once you wake up, that's it. You have to finish the process. And it is a process. So you have to go through the steps. You have to go through. And the beginning is the awakening. Then it's the dark night of the soul. Then it's the sponge. The Satoru Self. Let me break it down one more time. The spiritual awakening, the dark night of the soul, is the rough patch, the lowest. You reach the lowest of the low. You have to. There's nowhere to go but up from there. The sponge is you made it through the the dark night of the soul, and you're ready to start your life. The Satoru Self is awakening, and now you understand. Like you understand what's going on. And then you have soul sessions. The soul sessions, my nose keeps itching. It can take time, it can take years, it can take decades for you to go through the soul sessions. So you're always going to be growing, healing, and evolving and learning new things. Then you go through the surrender. That's finally cutting out the things that no longer serve you. Release what doesn't serve you in your life. Habits, everything. The 7 is awareness, and service is the last step. Now you are aware, like you know what's up, like you know. And it's, you know, it's an awakening. We all go through it. Not everyone goes through it, because this has to be a conscious decision. It's not even conscious, it's not easy, and a lot of people don't want to do the work on themselves. So it is a process. It's a process, and you're always going to be learning, growing, healing, and evolving to someone new. So this is for anyone that is going through the spiritual awakening. I am going to include the timestamps for the, the process and stages of awakening. I'm going to include those timestamps. The 21 stages, I'm not going to include it, but I'm going to include the stages of awakening. So always lead with love, stay positive. Thank you for sticking it out. I went in 36 minutes. Oh my God. But thank you so much for watching. Always lead with love, and have a great day.